All right, welcome back to the 2-in-1, and today I'm taking a look at the Arizona Cardinals and giving my top 3 bold predictions for them in the upcoming 2021 season. But before getting that topic, just a quick, easy question for those of you viewing. What do you think the Cardinals' record will be next season? Of course, keeping in consideration that there's going to be 17 games. You think they're going above 500, below 500? Think they're going to the Super Bowl? Whatever it is, comment down below. But getting straight into it, number 1 prediction for me, Arizona Cardinals will get a playoff berth. That might be bold to some people, might not be bold at all to others, but to me, a right at 500 team last year, a team that was at 1.5-2, then had a weird rest of the season, going down to 8-8, and really they should have been 7-9 if it weren't for the Buffalo Bills miracle. I think it's bold to say a below 500 team is now getting a playoff berth. So, but I don't think it'll be easy. I'm not saying they'll win the division because the NFC West and the NFC as a whole is very stacked and locked in. To me, the division winners are going to be roughly around the Bucks, Packers if Aaron Rodgers stays, Rams with Matt Stafford. We know the star power on defense with Matt Stafford, having Sean McVay, having a well-rounded receiving core with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, old man Deshaun Jackson, in an up-and-coming backfield with Cam Akers. Rams are winning that division, in my opinion. In the fourth division winner is just going to be someone out of the NFC East. Not predicting that now, whether it be Washington or Dallas, Giants, but someone out of the division has to come there. And then in the wild card spot, that is where the Cardinals will fit in. And I think we could see 4 teams come out of the NFC West. You know, Russell Wilson's always going to be competitive and in contention when healthy. The Niners are going to have a healthy roster with a good receiving core. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. Defense is going to be great and healthy again. Someone in that quarterback room is going to be a winner at that quarterback starting job and perform well. Backfield's a little inconsistent, but it does have streaks of being great. And then Cardinals, I'm not saying they're dead last in the division, I'm not saying they're first in the division, but I think they'll hold their own and get right around 11-6, excuse me, maybe 10 to 12 wins. Sounds right around the sweet spot for the Cardinals next season to squeeze in at a wild card spot. And it doesn't end there in the division, you know. Vikings are going to have a great defense back in Daniel Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith. Bears, similar thing. They had a great defense. You're going to be relying on just rookie Justin Fields to be like a Joe Burrow or a Justin Herbert rookie year, but I think it's possible. I think Panthers and Sam Darnold are going to turn things around. You know, the NFC is tight. It's not just the division alone. Sadly, the cards are stacked against the Cardinals, but like I said, they can hold their own. Kyler Murray, he could take a jump from year 2 to year 3 like Josh Allen did. I don't know if it'll be that big of a jump because Josh Allen got a top 5 receiver added to his team. Kyler Murray, he got A.J. Green added to his team. No discredit to A.J. Green, but we understand those are 2 different levels of upgrades there. Excuse me. But Kyler could do it. I do like the receiving core, D-Hop, A.J. Green, Christian Kirk. Backfield's questionable with James Conner and Chase Edmonds, whoever's going to win the starting job there. But they got a leader and captain on the offensive line after they traded for center Rodney Hudson. I do have my questions at Cliff Kingsbury, but head to toe, I think the Cardinals are well-rounded enough. Kyler Murray's going to get better. We know how good D-Hop is. They added J.J. Watt. Healthy Chandler Jones is coming back. Last time he was healthy, he led the league in sacks. Secondary, you lost Pat Pete, but you added Malcolm Butler. You drafted some guys in the draft. Marco Wilson from Florida. He's not going to take Patrick Peterson's place, but they addressed the position, and you have star Buda Baker to lead them in the secondary, kind of be the captain there. Isaiah Simmons is going to find his spot. Twinkle Toes, he's going to have a much bigger role. I like this Cardinals team to hold their own and make the playoffs. Like I said, I think Kyler Murray, a lot of people have him as, 6th, 7th, 8th best quarterback in the league. To me, he's not there yet. He's right around 9 through 12, somewhere in that range. They haven't ranked it exactly, but I do think we could see him take a big jump and become top 8, top 7, top 6. And therefore, I think, like I said, if he takes a Josh Allen type jump, this is going to be a playoff team. If D-Hop is just, D-Hop, and there's no injuries to this team, they can hold their own. Again, they're not going to win the division, but a wild card spot I think is very realistic to the Cardinals. And to me, you could even say this prediction isn't that bold. Some people might say it's bold. Others might not think it's bold at all, especially if you're a Cardinals fan. I'm not. Just trying to be as unbiased as I can be. And I think, not knowing if it's bold or not, I'm just going to call it bold. I think the Cardinals can make a playoff spot this year. I think they're well-rounded enough. They got some holes here and there to not be a Super Bowl team, but a playoff team. I think they will make it. And who am I to say they're not a Super Bowl team? If they can make the playoffs, it's a fighter's chance. You got a puncher's chance at that point. Anything is possible. If you're in the playoffs, you have a chance of going to the Super Bowl. So to me, playoff team sounds like where I think the Cardinals will go for now. Second bold prediction, A.J. Green AJ Green will revamp his career and be a top 25 to top 30 receiver again. I know what you might be thinking, top 30 receiver, how is that credible? How is that a great spot achievement? That's not bold at all to be top 30, big whoop. But you got to understand, AJ Green, he's 32 years old. He hasn't started a full 16 games since 2017. He hasn't had 1,000 yards receiving since 2017. I mean, that's 4 years ago. Obviously, for him, he's not a great receiver at all right now, currently what he is today, based on what we've seen the past 3 years. But being a top 30, top 25 again, that's a big jump for a guy like this in AJ Green, and I think he could do it for a number of reasons. I'm not saying he's going to be top 10 because, the first 15, top 15 receivers, top 20 receivers is pretty crowded with your obvious ones. Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf. You know the drill. There's a top 15 to 20 receivers that are just locked in there somewhere, and 20 through 30 is where we start seeing question marks. You seeing your guys that are past their primes but still got talent. AJ Greens, Antonio Browns, T.Y. Hilton's, guys that we still believe in. I think AJ Green can fit in that bunch for a number of reasons. Kyler Murray, like I said, he's going to be better. I think he's going to have a bigger arm. I think I don't know how much stronger his arm is going to be, but he's going to have a better arm, more accurate. He's going to be more precise. He's going to be smarter in the game. He has more reps. He has more experience, and he's going to be more familiar with this offense as the years go on. And the fact that he has D-Hop on his team attracting so much attention, there's going to be a lot of separation on the field, and I think AJ Green can win one-on-one matchups, being a great physical guy. He doesn't have his speed that he did at 25, but he still has his hands. That's one thing an NFL receiver doesn't lose as he ages. It's his hands. He can catch the ball just like he always did. He just might not be as fast, but I think a guy that has D-Hop on his team, a top 2, maybe top 1 receiver in the league, might get double teamed, might attract a lot of attention, and therefore create a lot of one-on-ones that AJ Green can win. And that is why I think he can revamp his career. He's with an offense that could use him. If he was on a Jets, a Lions, a Jags, he wouldn't be a top 30 receiver because they would be relying on him to be a number 1 receiver again. And that's just not what he is. I think he could be a great number 2 receiver in the NFL and therefore be a top 25, top 30 type of receiver. I think AJ Green will do it with the help of Kyler Murray, with the help of D-Hop. And he's got other receivers as well. Christian Kirk, he's not the greatest, but he's a pretty reliable and pretty speedy slot receiver that's really just going to separate the field between Kirk, Green, and D-Hop. We're going to see a lot of production out of Kyler Murray. Of course, this is all in contingency that no one gets hurt. No big injuries to the O-line, no big injury to Kyler Murray. AJ Green stays healthy. That's obviously going to be a factor I'm banking on not happening, but in good faith, in good hope, I think this team will be healthy, and AJ Green is going to benefit a lot from it. And that is also a big reason why I think this will be a playoff team, because I think AJ Green is going to be a great number 2 receiver in the NFL that they will have to watch out for. But moving on to the third and final bold prediction, J.J. Watt, I think, is finally going to get double sacks again this season in 2021. That might sound not bold at all again, but J.J. Watt hasn't had 10-plus sacks since 2018, and before that, he hasn't had 10-plus sacks since 2015. So there's been some gaps in J.J. Watt's career where he's had some rough patches, and he's getting up there in age. He's on a brand new defense to learn the system. There's question marks of whether or not he could get 10-plus sacks again because he hasn't had it since 2018. He was younger then. He was on a great team then. Is this Cardinals team going to help him out? But to me, he's going to do it for a number of reasons. He's hungrier. He wants to prove everyone wrong. He wants to prove that he's worth the $15 million a year he's getting paid, and the fact that he's not alone. Last time J.J. Watt did get 10-plus sacks, he wasn't alone. He had Jadeveon Clowney's best year, right beside him. I think Jadeveon Clowney had 9 or 9.5 sacks that year. Not a lot, but for Jadeveon Clowney, that was his best year, and that was enough to take the load off of J.J. Watt. And getting Chandler Jones next to him, a guy, like I said, that last time he was in the league led the league in sacks, that is going to help out this team. I mean, you're looking at the 2018 and 2019 sack leaders, if I'm not mistaken. I know Chandler Jones led. I don't know if J.J. Watt led the year in 2018. I would say he did, but I'm not 100% sure. Might have been Aaron Donald, but either way, 2 double-digit sack guys back together, healthy, ready to win, ready to compete for a championship. 10-plus sacks for both of them, I think, will actually happen, not just JJ. Even if he's up there in age, I think JJ's going to do it. He's going to possibly be a Pro Bowler again. And even then, there's guys in the linebacker position that can help. Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, he's still got a weird role in this defense. I think he could possibly rush the offense sometimes and help out J.J. Watt. Just take as much pressure off of him as you can, no matter who's getting double teamed. Whether it be Chandler Jones, JJ's going to win his one-on-one. If JJ's getting double teamed, Chandler's going to win his one-on-one. Just on both sides of the edges, this team is going to be so lethal in the front four of the defensive line, and I'm excited to see it. Again, I'm not a Cardinals fan, but I like what they got building down there in Arizona. I like AJ Green to turn his career around. I like JJ Watt to turn his career around, and I like this team to be a playoff team. Again, I don't have them being a Super Bowl team, but like I said, once you're in the playoffs, since you got there, you have a shot. You got that far, why can't you go even further? Anything can happen. We've seen wildcard teams win the Super Bowl before. Buccaneers just did it last year. Complete different situation, but I'm just saying it's possible. This team's going to improve. The receiving core got better. The defense, I don't know if it got better. I do think it will be, just because these guys are going to have much more experience. Chandler Jones is coming back. The addition of J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons will be better. Buda Baker's entering his prime years. The only loss is really Pat Pete, but Pat Pete's a very good corner, so you understand why the argument is whether or not they got better. But I definitely think they did, just with the additions they added and the health injuries not being there anymore. This team is better on defense, it's better on offense, and Kyler Murray is going to take a huge step forward and I think officially become a top 10 quarterback in the league. I'm here to see it. Not a Cardinals fan. I'm a Bucs fan. If they're going against each other, I'm rooting for the Bucs. But besides that, I do like the Cardinals to go very far. I'm going to be rooting for them, like I said, as long as they're not playing the Buccaneers. I like what they got going there. Again, 3 bold predictions. Playoffs, they're going to make it this year. AJ Green's going to be a top 30, possibly top 25 receiver again, and J.J. Watt's hitting those double-digit sacks again. I'm excited to see it. I like to see what this team could do if they will make the playoffs. Hopefully don't get off to a hot start again and then just trickle down in the back half of the season like they did last year. A lot of that could have been due to Cliff Kingsbury. I briefly mentioned him earlier. He could be a guy that really holds his team back. Being in a division with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, 2 extremely innovative offensive-minded guys, and Pete Carroll just being a historical and respected coach. I don't know if Cliff Kingsbury is on the same par and on the same level as those guys, but anything is possible with this talented roster. And of course, referring back to the question of the day, what do I think their record will be? Like I said, 10 to 12 wins sounds right around the sweet spot. 11-6 sounds like a good wildcard spot to me. But as always, guys, comment down below your opinions on the question of the day, and comment down below, do you agree with my list and these bold predictions? Do you think they'll come into fruition and happen? As always, guys, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. 2-minute warning.